Hi, Salam Alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Welcome. Let's slay some demons. Sisters and brothers, this is part two of the Angel Key class. Here we're going to be discussing the dragon. These classes are designed to help those who are seeking to understand the scriptures, understand revelations, which is called angel or gospel. It's not designed to give you excruciating detailed breakdown of each particular book, because each particular chapter, because we're going to this presentation will mostly focus on chapters. So we already talked about chapter 4. Now we're going to talk about chapter 12. So to give you a basic understanding of the chapter, what it's saying, how to read it, and the kind of information that it reveals, and how it fits in the timeline. That's the primary purpose. The angel is the light for this time. It's spoken of clearly in the angel, in the Bible, even in the Quran, even the Sunnis. They tell you that there'll be the Mahdi and the Jesus together at the end. They would be the ones that would slay Gog and Magog, which is American Brit and Dajjal. But the Mahdi, he would come with the Quran. But Jesus would come, the scriptures tell you, Quran tells you, and the Bible tells you, he was given the angel. He would come with the angel. So how can you stand by and say there's no revelation after Quran? Because what was Jesus given? He was given an angel. That's what he's coming back with, the angel. And remember, it's sealed. So he's the only one that can unseal it. So he's coming back with the unsealed version. That'll be the last revelation. And the book of Daniel is a companion book. The book of Daniel has 12 chapters, but the 13th chapter of Daniel is the 13th chapter of the angel, because you find the leopard, the bear, all those characters that are found in Daniel, all those found in the angel are only in that chapter, chapter 13. They're connected like a T. They come together like that. So the angel key unlocks the Bible, but you also, some things require the Daniel key. Sometimes you need both of them together. And there's other books like Ezekiel and other books that come with a key embedded within them also that I've not talked to you about. There's so much stuff to talk to you about, but we have to get off, A, B, C, learn your ABCs first, right? Then you learn, so go forth and so on. You learn addition, subtraction, then you go multiplication, division, right? Then you go to calculus, so forth and so on. We don't want to jump the gun. As Miss SHIA used to say, if you jump the gun, you're in front of the gun. You get shot by the gun. So we're not in a rush here. They're in a rush because their time is limited. Their time is running out. We're not in a rush, but we're deliberate, right? We taking our time, but we're creating time. We are creating time. And they're in a rush to create time also. See, they're in a rush because their time is running out. So they're in a hurry. That's why the Quran said they was creating haste. They always hasty people because they know they have a short time. And so they know the time is running. They said the devil was full of wrath because he knew he had a short time left. How did he know he had a short time left? Because it's very simple. 1619, they make a big deal about 1619 now. 1619 to 2019 would be the top of enslavement. All this is about the Abrahamic covenant, all of it. All the scriptures, all this stuff, it talks about the covenant, keeps talking about the covenant, even in Quran, but it doesn't always specify exactly what that covenant's all about. But it's a covenant, right, that's made with Abraham. All the scriptures, because that's what the fulfillment is. At the end of 60,000 years of Dr. Yaakov's rule, there would be fulfillment of the covenant, what would take us into a new time, a new era, a new reality, fulfillment of that covenant. That's what, when you understand the scriptures, understand all the scriptures crying about all of it, you understand all revolves around that Abrahamic covenant, which in Daniel says they despise the covenant. Who is despising the covenant? Anybody speaks against the covenant or rejects the covenant or diminishes the covenant. And Farrakhan is one of the main ones because he takes and destroys the very essence of the covenant. That's the fulfillment of the covenant because he says we're not going anywhere. That means the covenant either is never be fulfilled, God's a liar, or was never meant to apply to us at all. Because if you say that we're not going anywhere, and that's the whole purpose of Master Muhammad coming here, reminds us of the covenant. Elijah Muhammad constantly tells us, prepare to go home. And then Elijah Muhammad says, and we have to take, there'll be a fool who wants to stay here in the land of our imprisonment. And Farrakhan's constantly tell you, we ain't going anywhere. We're going to inherit the country that we was enslaved, all this kind of business. So he's despised the covenant also. Why? Because he's a demon. So we're going to talk about these particular things. But we're about to light up America, going to light it up. What do you mean light up? Because this truth is going to light it up. It's going to be light for us, but darkness for them. Because the truth is darkness for them. Because, hey, if you're a pedophile, the truth is darkness for you. Right? Because that's dim. That's revealed. Right. Right? It's darkness for you. Nothing but darkness. See, the more light shine on you, the darker it becomes for you. See, because you know your future's gone. You understand what I'm saying? It's light for us, but intense darkness for them. As the Quran says, it talks about intense darkness, also talking about the piercing light. Two things at the same time. See, I'm already lighting up America, but we're really going to light up 7 times brighter. We're going to light up. See, and one of the main things going to light up with the destruction of false Israel, because that is the whole thing everything's revolving around. For the last 72 years, the whole thing revolving around false Israel. Everybody's been focused on the Middle East. All you hear about is Middle East, because that's what it's all is right there. See, because the whole world, that's their light. See, their light is our darkness. Our darkness is their light. Our light is their darkness. The opposite. So that's their light. That's their vision. They got the whole world thing. That's the vision. That's their vision. That's false Israel. That's the one. And in that vision, we're nothing. We're just ham. We're just born to be slaves. That's the sealed Bible. It says in sealed Bible. Sealed Bible, the sealed Bible says it. We're ham. We're born to be slaves. Everything you see they're doing right now is coming out of the sealed Bible. That was their instruction. That was their guidance. The Quran says, it told Adam, I'm going to give you guidance. You will get guidance from me. How is he getting guidance from God? What God are you talking about anyway? How is he getting guidance? The scripture, that's why how do you get guidance? Where's the scriptures? What scripture he got? He's got the sealed Bible. That's what you don't understand. The sealed Bible was given them. The unsealed Bible is the one that Suleiman will come and unseal and blow away their reality. It turned that light so bright. They're totally exposed because right now, the reality is if false Israel is the true seed of Abraham, that means, look at the reality. If you just make that assumption, that means we are slaves over here. We deserve to be slaves over here because we was born to be slaves. We was cursed by God because of Noah, right? We was seed of Ham. We're sons of Ham. We were born to be cursed to be slaves forever. So there's nothing wrong with us being slaves over here. That means America's not guilty of anything, no original sin, because we supposed to be slaves. And they're just doing what, actually, they following what the Bible says. They follow what the sealed Bible says. That means they're not guilty. See? And this is their promised land. You see? So they didn't take from anybody. This was promised to them. You understand? So if they go take that version, there's nothing wrong with them. They're good people. They're following God. And false Israel, right? They're doing everything right because that's their land. So the Palestinians are wrong for preventing them from taking the land that God gave them. You understand what I'm saying? The whole world's revolving around that. You see? Because that's their light. That's their vision. And their vision, this vision they have right here, this vision, this economic vision, this industrial vision, is headed towards this mechanical reality. Destroy this biological reality. Brothers and sisters, you better come on, you better understand. Okay. But when the angel is unlocked and truth comes out, because in the Bible, but now it's unlocked, and they find that we're the true seed of Abraham, the whole reality collapses. It turns into instant darkness, right? For them. But bright, it lights up the whole world. 7 times brighter than the sun. Because all of a sudden everything changed. Because we're true seed of Abraham, then that means who are they? That means they're evil, wicked. That means false Israel is Satan, right? You understand what I'm saying? That means the Sunnis over there, right? See, they're the enemy because they live on stolen land. Because they claim, they inherited, that's their land. Everything turns upside down. The shock of the hour. And we can light up America because they will not be able to hold on to that truth because that truth, their light depends on that. What is that light fueled on? Remember, it's based on the Abrahamic covenant. They say false Israel is the beneficiaries of the Abrahamic covenant. So what fuels it? The fuels it the fact that they have to be the true seed of Abraham. That what fuels it. If you take that fuel away, their light goes out because light has to be fueled. Electricity or gas or whatever they give it, right? Oil has to be fueled. But if you take that fuel away, the light goes out. That light goes out. And that light shines bright, 7 times brighter. Because if the whole idea is you cannot take down Israel once they're established in the land. There's a prophecy that's in stone. Everybody knows it. The evangelicals know it. Everybody knows it. That's why America goes all in to make sure nothing happens to false Israel. If this false Israel is taken down, right, the fuel for that vision they got is gone, and the whole thing collapsed. And they go into intense darkness. Because remember, then they have to see who they are. They have to come to grips who they really are. They're Adam. They're the devils. They're evil. They're enemies of God. False Israel is Satan. See? The Sunni, they're the golden calf. See? That's shock of the hour. They can't stand that. 'Tis darkness. But for us, it'd be the brightest light ever. And it turns the whole reality, the whole world upside down. And they're going to fight like hell to regain that reality. Otherwise, they're going insane. That's what it talks about. Desolation need to be determined. That gets into our creating time because if you bring the new industrial complex, you got to get rid of the old one before you can bring the new one. That means you got to demolish. That's what we're talking. Destinations to be determined. See, so America's got to go down. So that's one of the things that's going to happen. So if you lag behind in time and you still here when desolation comes, when we just demolish that building, you go down with the building. That's why you got to bring you up to tomb of time. Because we're moving through time and you got to catch up. But the other thing is, they're talking about this desolation that causes appallment. In other words, there's going to be some desolation so great that's going to shock the whole world. What is that all about? See, I give you a little hint right here. They got once false Israel is going down, and that's going to be within a few days. Whoever's president, the one they got right now, he's seen that anyway, so it might not happen because he might even realize what's happening. But it's going to be so much pressure because they got to revive that vision. Otherwise, they go insane. They got to revive that vision because the alternative is our vision, and our vision is total destruction for them because they're not good, right? The evil, false Israel, Satan, right? We're true to Abraham. Sunni land, right? They're the jinn. You understand? The demons, Farrakhan them exposed. They're the real demons. All this stuff that's hidden right now in the darkness that they got us in. See, they got us in this darkness. We don't know who the jinn is. We don't know who the demons are. We don't know who the dragon is. We don't know who anybody is. The God is invisible. We don't know who he is. The angels, no. Because you can't, all that stuff is invisible if you're in dark and you're blind. That's why it's invisible to you, because they have us in darkness and blind. They tell us this stuff, you can't see it, whatever. Right, because you're blind. They got you total darkness. But all of a sudden, the light, the angels, bam, spreading that light so bright. It's showing you who everybody is and everything. And then the fuel that's fueling this vision, because already it's corrupting the vision. Their vision is corrupting it. But they ain't took it out yet, because it still got fuel for it. See, so it's blocking it, shadows and things, but it's still got the fuel for it. And the fuel for it is false Israel. Once they're taken down, there's no fuel for that vision, whole vision. So that means they got to do something to revive that vision, something terrible. It's going to happen, and they're going to do something in the Middle East so terrible. I'm not saying what it is, right? But it's in there, talk about Daniel. It's going to be so terrible. See? Abomination that causes this appallment. It's going to be so terrible. See? Because they got to revive that vision. And they're rushing, right, to get some assurance. See, to bring in their mechanical world and get rid of us, right, before we can expose them and turn that light on so bright. Because the light they see lights coming. They see light getting brighter and brighter. The angel light was about to, bam! See? So it says 7 times brighter than the sun. See? So it'd be intense light for us, intense darkness for them. Because right now, we're in their darkness. See? Because they have their vision. And their vision is darkness for us. Because we're nothing. You don't know who anybody is. You don't know your enemies or anything. You understand, brothers and sisters? But the angels breaking out. Those study angels, all of a sudden the light's coming up in your mind. Because all of a sudden you know who all these things are. You know who everything is. You know everybody is. You're greater than any prophet in the past. Because no prophet in the past had this kind of knowledge and wisdom. Had this much light as the angel. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Let's move into the presentation here. Again, it's about the dragon. Okay, this is the angel key, right? Now, you see the symbolism we have in here. That symbolism changes, depends on the chapter. The key remains the same. I mean, well, there's different constructs of the key, but it's still all the pieces fit together. You rearrange them. There's a couple of constructs I think I mentioned last time, right? This is the primary construct here, right? So the chapters, symbols may change, because like here, I'm using these symbols, right? See, using these symbols here, right? And actually, ignore that, bro, since that's an error. All this should be horns. It doesn't matter in this perspective. I'm just using symbols. Actually, that's an error. I didn't notice that. But the top one, right, represents the lion, its wings, right? And the next one is the calf and its wings. And then the face man, his wings. And then the bottom is wings. Those shit, I got them horns. Somehow I must have made them horns by my mistake. Should be wings, right? But in different chapters, see, because they call them wings there, but in another chapter, right, they call them something else. But the puzzle remains the same. It's like having the same puzzle, identical puzzle, but you change the picture. So each chapter, the picture will change, but the puzzle remains the same. That's one of the keys to understand angel, because they use different symbols in that particular chapter, but it's still, all you got to do is figure out how those symbols fit into that key. And you have to make sure all the pieces fit, and before you start trying to do your analysis. You have to make sure all the pieces fit before you start doing your analysis. Otherwise, you're going to come up with a faulty analysis. So, pardon me on this one. I didn't realize I had done that. So, but like I said, it just says horns there. It actually should be saying wings. So this is you can read this at your leisure. This is chapter 12, but it's transliteral. We're using the Jehovah Witness transliteral scripture. You can get on their website, jw.org website, because it's not, it's not, it's not King James version, that kind of stuff, because they're interpretive. That means you got to figure out what it means and translate. So if you figure out wrong, then your translation's gonna be wrong. Transliteral means you don't try to figure out anything. You just take the word from that language and translate it to the word in the next language. So it's not error proof, but it's pretty close to it, depending on the language, how close the languages are together. Okay, the dragon. So we're going to concentrate on the dragon here, right? So again, this is the key. I said those should be wings there. That was an error. I'm not going to correct it here. I'm just telling you, those should be wings instead of horns, right? Horns should be wings. I showed that in the previous one. Okay, now here I want to show you here. Now see here. Now each one of these represent one of those creatures, right? Now I'm just showing you some of the way to understand the angel. Now on the left side here, see the top two can be referred to as, when they say ear, they're talking about the top two. See, we're talking about the hands, they're talking about the middle two. Like in chapter 2 and 3, they call those also the works, right? Also call those the works, right? Let me show that here. On the bottom, those would be the feet. Each one is a foot. See, when you look at each one of those, when they talk about foot, they talk about that part of it. You know, in the chapter 2 and chapter 3, they actually called the butt, B-U-T. They say B-U-T. It's really B-U-T-T. But see, they talk about Jesus, and they think you're talking about Jesus there. They just couldn't bring themselves to put the other T there. So they just say the butt is saying. We're going to talk about chapter 2 and 3 in a while, not here. Anyway, but you see right here where the red is? Okay, with the ears between it, if it's something there, they would refer to that to the face of that particular creature. That's the face of it, right? On the bottom down there, right? See, where it says foot, that's also the mouth. I didn't say it there. I meant to. Where it says foot, that could also be called the mouth. Okay? And in the mouth, you had a voice. So instead of foot, there'd be the mouth, right? And the voice would be, in that position there, they would call that the voice. In other case, sometimes it's called, right, the horse, if you're in that position. And it can't be any place. If it's in that position, they can refer to it as a horse. Depending on the chapter. Talking about horses, they were talking about it's in that position of that particular creature. Because they're 4 horses, right? So, and that would be in those positions. Okay, I just want to point that out to you, because we're gonna reference a little bit of this in a minute. Then the sun up there, well, we're gonna get to that in a minute. Okay, here we go. Now again, I'm not going into excruciating detail here. I'm going to talk some of this through, right? Now they talk about the woman in chapter 12. Well, that's the woman up top there. They're talking about the woman. The woman's also the 7 spirits, right? Okay, so up top there, that's the woman. And the moon was under her feet, and she was clothed with the sun. Her belly, she had a son. I mean, she had a child. So this woman had a son and a child. You see, the people think they're saying that. No, she had a son and a child. One was in her belly. See, so that's FAUGHT, because the one in always the center, right? That one always represents the Lord or the God of that particular group, right? So this represents the woman here. See, and she's pregnant, because FAUGHT, he's about to take, right? He's the God of, right? So he's about to take control of his, that's what it means. He's about to give birth. He's about to take control of his nation, right? Also, at this point, right, we see, I have Elijah there. Well, that would be Elijah. This gets back to the story about Elijah in the Bible, right? And Elijah, right, he was told to teach to both the wheat and the chaff, because somebody sowed the chaff amongst the wheat. Somebody sowed the chaff amongst the wheat. And they said, don't pull it up now, let them go together. So Elijah was told to teach the both of them. Remember, the wheat and the chaff are also two spirits. They're also spirits, right? See? So I'm talking slowly so you can follow this through. I'm not, like I said, I'm going into excruciating detail. I'm just giving you the highlights so you understand. But some of you I've already put presentation out there to talk this in much more detail than I'm doing today. I'm just getting you familiar with it. See? And like I said, I'm trying to show you how this fits in with other scripture, how it fits in with the time, how it works. So I'm coming from a different perspective here, not just the class on exactly how the angel exactly works, but how it means, how to read it, how it fits in to, where we are right now, and how it shows you how it explains other scripture. So here, because remember, it's still about Elijah and Elias. And Elias was Elijah's spokesman. He was the second command, right? Okay, so here it is. He's teaching to two spirits. One of them called chaff, one called wheat. One's an evil spirit, one's a good spirit. That's also a trial of knowledge of tree of good and evil. It's another story. I'm not going to that. That gets into the Adam and Eve story. So Elijah's teaching the both. See? Okay. And then the moon under their feet. See? So remember, you got, in this particular chapter, you got to take all the symbols and put them together to come up with that angel key. And then you start trying to figure out what it means. So we see that's what the top part right there. We got those symbols we talked about, right? They're in the top part. Then the bottom part there, right? We see a dragon. Now, a dragon has 7 heads, see, and 10 horns. There are 10 horns there, 5 on each side, see. And he had 7 crowns on his 7 heads. See the heads, the crowns up on the heads there. So there's 7 heads. And then he had a tail. See, once you pull that together, there it is. That's the angel key. All the pieces have to be there. Now you can start trying to analyze what they're talking about. Now you know who the dragon is. Now who the woman is. See? So here's a dragon's tail. He had a fiery red tail. There it is. 7 heads. That's European countries. The authority, the crowns, the authority is with them. They're the ones that control the world. See? Then you got the 10 horns. See? And then you got the woman. The woman's pregnant. See? So she's pregnant with a child, but she also giving birth to a son. That's Suleiman. Most people miss that because they think, well, it's a child or something. No, I mean, yeah, but it's a child. But they talk about 2 different things. They're very specific, and it's not ambiguous. Very specific, right? So that's the woman. Okay, so what happens here? Now, we see Elijah. Now, this is before, because Elijah's teaching, that's before 1975. See? So now, he's getting ready to depart. See? I just put everything, I had separated, put it back together. Make sure, so you know this, it's all the keys together. I had separated so you can make the distinction between the dragon and the woman. And here Elijah, 1975, he departs. He goes back up to FAUGHT, to the wheel. See, it's 1975. Okay? He departs. So when he departs, right, that leaves, right, the Nation of Islam headless. It's headless. Don't have a head anymore. It's gone. See? That's talking about in chapter, talking about John. John says John was beheaded. That's about, he didn't take, he cut his head off. That means his organization was beheaded. He was taken away. Because John and Elijah, the same one. See? Because John had to baptize Jesus. Elijah had to baptize Jesus. That means he had to initiate them into Islam. And they didn't want to do it. They said, no, I'm not worthy to even shine your shoes. But he said, no, Jesus assisted, Suleiman assisted, they do it. Okay, so he goes up, and in the story of Elias, now remember, the 7 spirits are also 7 eyes. Those are 7 eyes. And like I said, I have presentations, But they also call 7 eyes. 7 spirits are called 7 spirits of the gods. That means they're the God. They're 7 spirits of the God. If you're the spirit of the God, you're the God. They say it's 7 spirits of God. So, right? But there are 3 of them are evil spirits because they was corrupted. But anyway, so we see in Elias, it says, when Elijah's about to depart, he talks to Elias, says, because that's his second command, Farrakhan says, what can I give you on my way? And he says, well, I want a double portion of your spirit. See, 2 spirits right there? Brothers and sisters, I mean, you got to understand these scriptures. Why he want a double portion of the spirit? Because 2 spirits, he want what Elijah had. See? So Elijah said, well, I don't know if I can do that, but he says, if you see me when I depart, when you see me when I depart, if you see me, you got to witness that. You got to see me. Then you'll get what you asked for. But remember, the 7 spirits are also 7 eyes. So Elijah goes up. Remember, those spirits he's covering Farrakhan. So Farrakhan can't see. He can't see because he's covering his eye. And what comes out of his mouth? Where's the God of Elijah? He can't see for eyes now. That's why he says the wicked can't see him now. So he didn't see it. That means he didn't get what he was asking for. Brothers and sisters, this stuff is really beautiful stuff. if you allow it in and start thinking about it, because it's all it's going to do is perfect you, clear out your mind, see, and get you thinking on the right path, thinking as a God that's going to allow you to create your. Look, brothers and sisters, we cannot create your heaven for you. Each of us has to create our own heaven and our own hell. We're time travelers, we're time creators. See? We just make it guide you so you can get to where you can start creating your own reality for yourself. Because, 1 minute, maybe you like chocolate cake. You think, maybe Master Muhammad like chocolate cake? Maybe you don't like chocolate cake. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't like it. So if my reality is make a chocolate cake, make a vanilla cake, and you like chocolate, then how is that going to be? How is it going to make things happen for you? See, I like the color blue, brown. You like the color purple. See, each of us have a vision, a natural vision, right? But you have to be yourself to realize it. And that's your pathway to your heaven. And we just make the pathway possible so you can achieve your reality, achieve your heaven, achieve it. Because each one of us have a different idea of what heaven looks like for us. You might like, if you're talking about relationships, right? If you're a male, you might like women that are tall. Another might like women that are short. Or women might like men that are big, some like husky, right? Everybody's going to be different. We expect that. So there's not going to be one reality, right? See, there's only one reality in mathematics, but it has different variations. Because 8 plus 4 equals 12, 2 plus 10 equals 12, 3 times 4 equals 12, right? 20 minus 8 equals 12. You understand what I'm saying? So all equal 12. So all got to equal 12, but all of us come out a different way, all have different perspectives. Anyway, so he cannot see him now. That's what it's talking about. So he didn't get it. See, because remember it says, see, they lied. Last Sunday, right? This is June 1st. So talking about the falling away. He's telling a big lie. The falling away had nothing to do with him exposing Jews, whatever that crap he's talking about. This is what it's talking about. Because it says, the falling, he said, be not deceived, the falling away will come first. Then a man's sin will be revealed. See, who was set in Elijah's temple in his seat, declaring himself as God above all gods. So here it is. So Elijah goes up, nation of Islam is beheaded, so it falls apart. It falls away. That's the falling away it's talking about. There's the falling away. And now Farrakhan is sitting in Elijah's seat, but he didn't get the 2 spirits that he wanted. He's sitting in Elijah's seat. He said himself, he's above all that's called God. Who's called God? Farah is called God, right? Farah would be right here where you see above the oriental face. That would be Farah would be there, right? And then you got to hit the eagle. That's Satan. So he's above everybody's called God. He's declared himself as God. You got the videos. He said, "I'm a young God." You see, I'm sure here, up here, the horns. This original again. Remember, I got horns that should be wings there, right? As an arrow, right? But the thing is that on here, um, this is also called serpent. But see, 3 parts of serpent are good. They good Levites, and 3 parts are bad. That's thing follows even with the African nation, right? Because you got 3 good prophets. Elijah's one of them. But still, this is referred to as a serpent. So remember I talk about the face. So the face of the serpent right here would be Suleiman, or the lamb. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. So here we talk about 1990. 1990, where you see right here with eagle. Eagle is usually here in the middle. That means America, its wings come out of America and Britain. They move into the Middle East and they take over the Middle East and they push the SHIA down, out of control. Now America falls as with Britain. They're up top here in heaven where they shouldn't be. They usually should be out here in the middle. See, I showed that before. Let me go back and make sure you see that. See, they would be here in the middle down here, right? But now they're in heaven. They 1990 they evaded. See? So here you got Lion Farrakhan, the man of son of perdition, because it says, do not see the fallen way come first, then the man's sin will be revealed. It said he would roll, right, reign for 42 years. From 1977, 42, that'd be 2019, his time is over. His time is over. That play came in, these true. Anyway, that's what's happening right there, right? I have to apologize, bro. Says I didn't realize those horns. That I hope they're not confusing you. See, because these horns up here, these horns down here are legitimate horns. The 10 horns I showed you the dragon, these here should be wings. I don't know how they got past me. Okay, so this is now 2015. Now we're having 2015. Remember, Obama's president. JCPOP starts. And now you have down here at the bottom, these that were in the middle, they're on the bottom now, because they're on the foot of the nation. I'm not going to talk, it's chapter 11 stuff, to my timeline. Those you be following, understand I'm talking about that. I'm just giving you highlights of chapter 12. But I'm just going through the stage, trying to get to a certain point, right? So during that time also, that's when Suleiman, right, will come to the Nation of Islam, because this black spirit here, that represents the Nation of Islam. He would come there, right, and they reject him during that period of time while Obama was president, in the end of his presidency. Then he leaves, right, and he starts teaching, right, openly. See, social media, internet, web pages, all kinds of stuff, right? Okay, 2016, right? Okay, let's move on. In 2018, he's gone. You know, Trump is in there, and Trump kills the JCPOA agreement, kills it. So now you see the 2 wings right here with where it says horn right there. That's kind of disturbed me, because I thought I must have saved it, bro. Says I hope that's not confusing anybody. But this represents the SHIA again. There's Michael's A. I don't want to go. I have to say it here. I really didn't want to say it exactly right now, right? But when I'm talking about these down here, I've been talking about, the ones on the foot of the nations. I might as well go back and do it. See here, this is the SHIA. See, the part of European nation, but they're original, because from the paternal side. On the maternal side, on the mother side, they're Europeans. But on the paternal side, right? They're like Farad, right? They're white, but they're original. So down the foot of the nations here, that's the Shia, Iran and Syria. So they're under control of the UN. They're trying to get them back to that. It's not going to happen. So now they're moving up to 2018. And this would go on, this period of time would go from 2018 to 2020, right? Which says that they will be had the power to inflict plagues as often as they will. That's when COVID-19 came in. Anyway, that's another story. But anyway, that's where we are right. This is where we are in time right now. That's why we're in time right now. They're in a position because they're moving up. They're moving up to put themselves back in heaven again and to push these out. America, falls Israel, and Britain, push them out. See? Okay? So, see, because this is the war they talk about. It says in chapter 2, so the war occurred in heaven. That's this war getting ready to happen. This is what's about to happen. It says Michael's angels. Who is Michael's angels? SHIA. For the dragon and his angels. Who's the dragon's angels, right? America, false Israel, and Britain. That's their angels, right? So they're getting ready to go at. That's the war that broke out. It's getting ready to break out. It's already started. It started in May. I told you about that from November to May, right? So it's already started. But it's 2-3 phases to it. See? So this would, so at this time, right? This is when, during this period of time, this is when Suleiman will come back to the NOI again. Because they're about to be attacked. They're going to receive them this time. That's where we are, 2021. Now the war takes place. False Israel is gone. That's what's caused this big shock. False Israel gone. They're taken. Seized and taken. So they're no more. America and Britain is thrown out of the Middle East. They're thrown out. See? So I'm going to look at it from this point of view. See? There's red Syria. Now they've already moved back into heaven again. They've kicked America and false Israel and Britain out, back in their position, right? Yeah, I didn't say it's because those two horns should not be there, bro. Says, I made an error, excuse me. But just ignore that 2 horns right there. They shouldn't be there. I know what happened. I forgot to save it after I made the corrections. Okay, so here, this is where it talks about chapter 18 of Babylon fallen. So America has fallen from its position in heaven. Now what? Now it's at war in Europe. It's fighting against Russia and Europe, this NATO that was their friends, but now they turned against them. So now America's fighting both in Europe and also fighting with China and North Korea. That's what's happening, brothers and sisters. See? So it said the dragon was kicked out. It said when the dragon was kicked out, right? He went to make war with the woman, that's the NOI, that keeps the commandments. They're going to attack. That's the Sunnis. They're going to attack. They're going to attack the NOI. And the devil's going to attack the NOI. Because they go soon. Because this right here, they're covering, right? Where you see Britain here, NOI will be under them. America, right? The demons, Christian blacks, they're under them. They're going to try to eradicate all black folks. That's what we're talking about. So the first war, it will be the demons. We're going to get rid of them. And then this. So that's pretty much what, there's some other things about chapter 12. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm going to give you basic highlights. You're going to study it. That's what chapter 12 is telling you. This information right here. So we can go back and check a couple of things. See, the women was the woman when she fled in the wilderness, right? All that represents woman. So remember, one woman was given 2 wings of an eagle. That's that one. This one here, right? It was nourished from the face of the serpent. That means the inner Suleiman came there and took care of them during this period when this happens. Okay, brothers and sisters, I got company, so I'm going to close out right here. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.